Hello there, World of Tankers. I'm Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the strongest tier 10 tank destroyer in World of Tanks Blitz, which in my opinion is the Jagdpanzer E100. Now this tier 10 tank destroyer has a lot of things going for it, and in today's video, I'm going to be letting you know what all of those things are, as well with some live gameplay. So of course, if you do like this type of gameplay, make sure to click that subscribe button down below, especially because you guys voted on this video coming out on my most recent poll. So if you want to vote and stuff like that, slap that subscribe button down below. But other than that, let's get straight into some live gameplay. So what makes the Jag, in my opinion, the strongest tank destroyer? So the last 3 videos I've done have all been on tier 10 Germans, and I've all voted them as the strongest tanks. The E50M, and then I did the Mouse, because of course the Mouse has got to be the biggest, baddest heavy, and then we move on to the Jagdpanzer. Now the reason I feel that all the German tanks are the strongest is because Germany was a crazy place during the World War II time period, and they just wanted to build bigger and bigger tanks. So the Jagdpanzer is, of course, the biggest tier 10 tank destroyer in the game, which therefore makes it the heaviest, which gives it, therefore, in my opinion, the strongest frontal armor. Well, not as strong as the E3, but the side armor is better. It's got a way bigger gun. It's a 170mm gun on this tank, second largest in the game, 800 average damage. So it's got massive things going for it, and in today's video, I'll be showing you why I do feel it's such a strong tank, and why I personally feel it is the strongest. Now, as I've said, strongest does not mean best, it just means the biggest and the baddest frontally. So yeah, I would not mess with the Jagdpanzer if it was aiming at me, especially because it has good frontal armor as well, and the most hit points out of all tier 10 TDs out there. So we've got that 111-1-4 who's pushing quite aggressive, as well we got this T-54, and well, there you go, that's the Jag for you. 877 hit points stricken right of that guy, and we got our first bounce there. We might not bounce the second one, but no, we did bounce it. But yeah, I'm getting pummeled by shells here. This is a problem. They've got a lot of tanks out in the open, and I don't like that necessarily. So let's try and get a shell. There we go, an 800 damage shell right into that SU. And now I've got to back up frantically, because, yeah, they got a lot of deadly tanks here, and while my armor is pretty good, I don't trust it enough to stand up against these tanks like that, as you can see. So I've only got 200 HP left, which is definitely nothing to brag about. So let's back up here. I don't want to die, not just yet, so maybe we could get a tank like that Sheridan if he pops out in the open. Come on. Ooh, that Sheridan got very lucky, because I would have loved to have slammed the shell right into his tank. This 111-1/4, I would not pull out if I were him, because we do have that massive gun mounted on this tank. But we're going to find out here what he does want to do. So I'm just going to try and side scrape it out as he maybe wants to pull out on us. Come on. Oof, he just got hit extremely hard, and there you go. Putting the finishing shell in. We are still holding strong here. The nice thing is, when you've got a massive gun on the tank, while I don't have necessarily the best lower plate, I still have a large gun on the vehicle. And with firepower comes, you know, people not wanting to push on you. Like that singular shell there almost put us past 3,000 damage. One more 800 damage shell, and we are long clear past the 3,000 damage barrier, which is, you know, pretty nice for me, because that means a lot less effort to get a lot larger damage out there. So there you go, 720 damage on that shell, and we have now passed the 3,000 damage barrier quite easily as it is. So this Sheridan's probably going to try and take us out. Oh, nope, never mind. So Sheridan is going to be taken out. I take it back. So let's... Oof, that guy got knocked out. And SU, thank you for your ammo rack. So there you go. That was just a quick little job in the Jagdpanzer that you saw. Even though I was in my opinion, a super tough scenario, we still were able to prevail, and there you go, another kill. So 4 kills in the Jag. We only had 214 hit points, but yet still able to bounce shells, able to do our job, and get out 4,238 damage. Like, that's definitely an impressive feat, especially for how tough our scenario was. I definitely don't think we could have done that in the T110E3, the Badger. So that sort of says why I feel this is the strongest tier 10 tank destroyer. It's just because it does everything such a good job. Now, don't get me wrong, we could have easily died there. In fact, any wrong position, any wrong bounce, we could have died. But it's just that the Jag has that alpha damage. People don't want to lose 800 hit points. I take off half of an entire tier 10 medium hit point pool in a singular shell. That WT there, I literally take off like 80% with a singular shot with an HE shell. So it's just the fact that the tank does a great job at getting out a massive shell that keeps people away from you, and as well you can bounce the occasional. I'd say you bounce about 40-30% of shells fired at your tank, which kind of is a big amount when you do think about it. So, yeah, here we go. Let's push, of course, to my favorite side of the map. I don't know what you would really call this. I guess this is medium side. Yeah, these mediums always push there. This is always where I would recommend. If you always push to town, like that IS-8 there, I would never recommend it because pushing to town, in my opinion, is a major mistake. So I'm just going to try. And you know what? 1,900 hit points is something I would love to slurp right up. So let's see if that IS-8 wants to pull right around this corner here. Come on, you know you want to. And there you go, 750. Let's wiggle it. Let's try and get the bounce. I'm not 100% certain we'll get the bounce here, but I'm going to try. Was a heat shell. But yes, this IS-8 is not going to want to play with us. So here we go. I'm going to be pulling out very, very aggressively. Love to just finish off this guy. They got the E6 right there. Again, let's get another nice little love tap, 730 damage, and my team looks like they're going to be finishing him off. So I'll let my team deal with that while I go and try to deal with the T95E6 now. Not sure what really their team thought was going to happen where they pushed their tanks, but let's squeeze our way through here, and let's get a nice tap right into that E6, and boom, another 700 damage added up for the Yag. So that is what the Yag is good at doing, is just getting out the damage really, really quickly. And while we did get slapped by that T30 right up the butt, we still are getting out damage here. I got to be careful, though, because, of course, I don't want to be hit by that T30 again. So let's see if we can maybe get that E6. No, just not quick enough there. So we've got the tank destroyers right here. We might die from, like, that WT, but at the same time, you know what? That's a nice HE shell waiting for us, and, yep, that's 1,130 damage in a singular shell. That is crazy. We've already broken 3,000 damage very easily, too. And yeah, that's sort of the Yag in a nutshell. Just one singular shell ruins an entire person's day. So we got the 4,005, pushing quite aggressive, and as we know, my tank does have that massive HE shell, so you know what? I would love to get a shell into that 4,005, but we were detected. I didn't think we'd be detected from the bush, but we did get detected in that game. So, yeah, we did a pretty solid job, I can say there. We already broke 3,000 damage, and you can see the weakness of the Yag. It's a very large target. You can't tell when you're spotted in it. I didn't know if I was spotted there. In fact, I didn't think I was because I was behind a bush. I was thinking, hey, if I'm behind the bush, I probably aren't spotted. But you know what? Sometimes the best of us all get taken out. And yeah, the camo rating on the tank did let me down there. Because, of course, it is, as I said, the largest Tier 10 tank destroyer in the game. But still able to pick apart that IS-8, the T95E6, and that WT. While we were on the battlefield for a very short amount of time, still able to rack out the damage very, very quickly. And it seems like, hey, our team's still doing a pretty good job. We were able to help the team enough that I think they were able to come out in victory here. So let's just watch the Sheridan fall apart, and all that's left is this poor T30, who actually, I'm not saying poor T30. He got 2 good shells in our tank, which actually caused us to die in this battle. Oof. Both kind of funny bounces there. Come on, Foch. I believe in you. You can finish him off. And there we go. Okay, so another pretty solid game in the Jagdpanzer. Of course, I'll play one more. In my opinion, 3 is a charm. If you can get out 2 good games, any game, by the way. Sorry, I'm stuttering there. But if you get out any good game in the Yag, any game over 3,000 damage, in my opinion, is a great game. That's what you should all try to average in Tier 10 if you can. Like, if you think that you're really solid, 3,000 damage is like the barrier that you really want to pass. 2,500 by no means is bad. In fact, that's excellent. But 3,000 is the barrier I always try and pass. So if you can see me average 3,000 in any tank, that means that it's probably a good tank. So the Jagdpanzer E100, as you can see there, both of those games we were able to average 3,000 damage. So here we go. Once again, for the last game, I'm going to be pushing, I think I'm going to be pushing right to this bush right over here. Sometimes you'll see Jagdpanzers push over to the side, and it doesn't really work. It honestly is the worst thing you can ever do. So I'm going to let this E100 pass me because, again, I'm going to try and go this way. But if you try and push to this side here, what happens? Well, as I said, the Jagdpanzer has a terrible camo rating. I think it's about the same as an E100, and it's kind of bad. So, yeah, I'm going to be pushing right to this bush here. We're going to try and do the best. I'm not sure what our E100 is doing. That's never a good start when your top-tier heavy tank has no clue what he's doing. Neither does this VK. It would be nice if they would have pushed that way. But you know what? We still got the IS-7, so I'm going to be pushing right here. And we're going to be seeing if anybody does want to be spotted. There you go. We got the 57 heavy. Please don't be spotted myself. Oof. That really hurts me. I wish that had connected, but we tried. So there's the 183, and there went... I'm not sure what my IS-7's doing. Oh, my God. My team. Okay, so we're going to push again right out here. I would love to get a shell like that. Oh, here we go. Okay, now the Yeg does actually have an extremely accurate gun. If you wait, and you wait, it doesn't sometimes hit, I guess. But it is accurate. Like, it hit where the ballpark area was. But I am sort of cringing right now at the shells just missing in this tank, because it would be nice, you know, Wargaming, just a little nice if we can get one pen here. Come on, we can pen it. There we go, 813 damage. Grill was spotted as well. That would be a lovely, lovely shot here. So let's see if we can get that grill. Come on, grill. Oof. I would love to get that as well. We've got that 57 who's still just sort of sitting there. So let's get another tap into that 57 heavy. Yes, 802. There we go. And he bounced us because, as I said, the frontal armor on this tank is pretty dang solid. Now, we did get hit by the Yag, which kind of sucks for me. You know, I don't want to ever get hit by the Yag there. But, yeah, that kind of hurt us a lot. So, yeah, that really hurt. As you can see, though, shells were in the lower plate. As I've said, lower plate is the big weak spot on this tank. When you get hit in this vehicle, it's usually going to be in that lower plate. So, I'm going to guess the grill is most likely about there. Should I shoot an HE? Let's go for the HE. I don't know if that shell connected. There's no way to find out. We're probably spotted. Oh, I think we hit the grill. Oh, that's got to hurt that grill. We must have taken off 1,500 damage with that shot. Well, that's this tank for you. So, yeah, I think we hit that shot. Okay, so let's take another blind shot at that grill. It never hurts. Why not? My PC aiming, as you can see, is not wonderful, but no, it doesn't look like the grills are anymore. But I really hope that we hit that grill with an HE. That would be purely amazing. So we got the E100, who I doubt is going to want to pull out here. Like, he will be absolutely smashed if he does, but it turns out he does, and, well, there you go. 957 damage with the fire, finishing off that 183, and let's see how much damage we're up to. 3,800. We hit that full HE on that poor grill. So there you go. Again, already breaking 3,000 damage. While we did get smacked very, very hard in our tank, we smacked the enemy a lot harder. And I'm going to be pushing... Ooh, we got the 57 once again out in the open, and there you go. Taken out. We have enough HP to survive a shell from, like, the grill, but I'm going to be pushing straight down here, where this VK-72 is. I really, we did die from the 183. Definitely targeted us there, so there's nothing I could have done about that. But, we did the best we could. So, overall, you can see the Yag is a great tank. We did the best we could, and it works pretty well. So, yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I definitely feel the Yag is one of the strongest TDs out there. And as long as you don't get targeted by a 183 pulling over the ridge, who kind of sacrificed himself to get that damage out, you know, it does a pretty good job. So other than that, guys, I hope you're all doing well out there. Stay happy, stay healthy. Make sure to click that subscribe button down below. But other than that, I hope you're all doing well out there, and I'll see you in the next one.